Welcome to the world of Street Fighter, where fighters from around the globe unite to battle for glory, revenge, supremacy, and to be the ultimate fighter who ever lived. Today's guest is the enigmatic and menacing Dictator of Shadaloo, m.bison. Known for his unparalleled ambition and terrifying psycho power, m.bison's journey is one of dominance, destruction, and an unrelenting pursuit of power. I'm Arcadenaut, and today we'll delve into the saga of a villain who has left an indelible mark on the Street Fighter universe and the world of fighting games. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and join my Discord channel if you're into fighting games, and prepare for the story of the Undying Lord of Street Fighter universe. M.bison, also known as Vega in Japan, is shrouded in mystery and darkness. His origins are obscure, with many of his early years and motivations concealed in secrecy. What is known is that Bison was born with insatiable thirst for power, a drive that would define his entire existence. His early life remains undocumented mainly, but it is believed that Bison's ambition led him to seek out and master various martial arts and mystical practices in his relentless pursuit of dominance. The only known details of his past are that he was at one point nothing more than a young martial artist like any other, but with overwhelming ambitions. He originally wielded soul power and passed his knowledge down to Rose, his only disciple. However, to be the best in the world of martial arts, m.bison murdered his own master before giving in to complete chaos. M.bison's master was said to be the only known person in the world who could manipulate the evil power known as psycho power at the time. And it is also said that before his death, m.bison's master passed the power to only 3 other students, m.bison himself being one of them. His former disciple Rose was also present, horrifically watched m.bison kill their master after he discarded the soul power over his psycho power. This mysterious and potent force allowed its user to harness and manipulate psychic energy, amplifying their physical strength and granting them supernatural abilities. The origins of psycho power are unclear, but its potential for devastation and control were evident. For Bison, psycho power represented the ultimate tool to achieve his ambitions. As he embraced the psycho power, Bison's physical and mental capabilities were dramatically enhanced. However, the power came at a cost. Psycho power is inherently malevolent, feeding on negative emotions such as hatred, anger, and fear. This dark energy began to consume Bison, warping his mind and further fueling his ruthless ambition. As he delved deeper into the dark arts, Bison's humanity diminished, and he became a being driven solely by his desire for power and control. To achieve his grand vision of world domination, Bison founded the criminal organization called Shadaloo. Under his ruthless leadership, Shadaloo quickly expanded its influence, becoming a global syndicate involved in a wide range of illegal activities including drug trafficking, arms dealing, human experimentation, and terrorism. Bison's organizational skills and strategic genius allowed Shadaloo to operate in the shadows, evading law enforcement and rival factions while steadily increasing its power. Moreover, Bison's leadership of Shadaloo was marked by his ability to recruit and manipulate powerful individuals to serve his purposes. Key figures such as Balrog, a brutal boxer seeking wealth, Vega, a sadistic and narcissistic assassin, and Sagat, a former Muay Thai champion seeking revenge against Ryu. They all became loyal enforcers of Shadaloo's will. Each of these characters had their own reasons for aligning with Bison, but all were united by their loyalty to the fearsome dictator and their belief in his vision of global domination. As m.bison and the Shadaloo grew stronger by each day, we will delve deeper into his quest for dominance, starting with Street Fighter Alpha series. In Street Fighter Alpha, Bison's ambitions take center stage as he orchestrates various schemes to expand Shadaloo's influence and enhance his psycho power. One of his most sinister plans involves the kidnapping of young fighters to brainwash them into loyal soldiers for Shadaloo, as these experiments are part of Bison's broader goal to create an army of super soldiers who can enforce his will and eliminate any opposition. And one of m.bison's main goals was to capture and recruit Ryu to his army by brainwashing him. On the other hand, one of the most notable outcomes of these experiments is the creation of Kami, a clone of Bison designed to serve as his personal assassin, codenamed Killer B. But if you want to know more about Kami, be sure to watch her story video as well, since today will be all about m.bison and his ambitions. During the events of Street Fighter Alpha 2, Bison's obsession with harnessing the potential of other fighters, particularly Ryu, becomes more apparent. Ryu, a martial artist with immense potential, attracts Bison's attention due to his connection with the Satsuna Hado, a dark power similar to Psycho Power. Bison's interest in Ryu is not just about defeating him, but as if he sensed Ryu's potential to bring out Satsuna Hado's dark side. During his arcade ending, we see Bison capturing Ryu, torturing him to break the young warrior's mind and soul to turn Ryu into a being that might even surpass Akuma. In addition to these events, Bison encounters Chun-Li, a determined Interpol agent seeking revenge for her father's death at Bison's hands. But another challenger who appeared to stop m.bison was Rose, as Rose's connection to Bison is rooted in their shared psychic abilities, with Bison representing the dark aspect of their intertwined destinies. However, Rose's attempts mainly were futile, as m.bison's psycho power grew even more volatile than ever with each installment. To confront and defeat Bison adds a mystical element to the narrative, emphasizing the supernatural aspects of Bison's power. During the events of Street Fighter Alpha 3, Bison seeks to harness the power of Psycho Drive, a device capable of amplifying his psycho power to unimaginable levels. Of course, Bison's pursuit of the Psycho Drive brings him to conflict with a coalition of fighters determined to stop him. Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, and m.bison's nemesis of Street Fighter Alpha, Charlie Nash, all join forces to thwart Bison's plans. While Kami's Killer B, Vega, Balrog, and Sagat support m.bison in his ambition. Suppose the players finish the arcade as m.bison. In that case, we see m.bison growing stronger than ever, with Shadaloo achieving global dominion. However, the canon story is the destruction of Psycho Drive and m.bison's defeat. M.bison vanishes into thin air as he is defeated and swearing to come back. With Psycho Drive and Shadaloo base destroyed, m.bison's defeat was just a setback, as he returns stronger and more powerful with the events of Street Fighter 2. In Street Fighter 2, sometime after gaining a new body, Bison uses Shadaloo to establish a base in a temple in Thailand. Bison also subjugated a nearby village to develop criminal empire, yet still provided the town with essential supplies, as he re-emerges as the primary antagonist, orchestrating the Second World Warrior tournament. His motives for organizing the tournament are multi-faced. On the one hand, he still seeks to recruit the best fighters from around the world to serve as elite enforcers for Shadaloo, especially still having his eyes on Ryu, and on the other hand, he aims to eliminate any potential threats to his supremacy by luring the world's strongest warriors into a single event where he can systematically destroy them. However, his ultimate goal was thwarted by Akuma's sudden appearance. Bison's presence looms large over the tournament, and his role as the final boss solidifies his reputation as one of the most formidable villains in fighting game history. However, one of the most significant rivalries in Street Fighter II is between Bison and Guile. Guile, a major in the United States Air Force, enters the tournament with a personal vendetta against Bison, who is responsible for the death of his friend and mentor, Charlie Nash. Now carrying Charlie Nash's wish, Guile steps into the ring and takes on the mantle of his mentor to stop m.bison forever. However, m.bison's other goal was to recruit Ryu, who defeated one of his generals, Sagat. After being defeated by Ryu in the First World Warrior tournament, Sagat is left with a deep scar on his chest and a burning desire for revenge, which picks up the curiosity of m.bison as he exploits Sagat's anger and hatred. However, Street Fighter II introduces alternate endings depending on the performance of the player. The most canonical story is when Bison ambushes Ryu during the final match of the tournament, demonstrating his willingness to eliminate any threat to his supremacy. Yet his plans are disturbed by Akuma, who catches him off guard and performs the Shun Gokusatsu on Bison, killing the Dictator in an instant. And as you know, Akuma then takes m.bison's place to fight the finalist of the Dictator's tournament, that is, supposedly Ryu. With m.bison defeated by the hands of Akuma, this led to a rebellion within Shadaloo. In Street Fighter IV, we learn about m.bison's secret project as he remains as the mastermind behind Shadaloo's operations. Despite his previous defeats, m.bison's ambition and desire for power are undiminished, as his pursuit of psycho power leads to the creation of new cyborgs and enhanced soldiers, including Seth, a powerful being designed to be the ultimate fighting machine. m.bison ordered the creation of at least 26 androids by Sin, the weapons division of Shadaloo, and the number 15, Seth, was chosen to be the new head of Sin, demonstrating a higher level of intelligence than the others, referred to indirectly as m.bison's right hand. After m.bison's death in Second World Warrior tournament, the number 15 takes the name Seth and makes his own attempt at world domination, beginning with the announcement of a new tournament. However, to lure m.bison out, Juri Han had a plan of her own. Apparently aware that m.bison has survived, she lures a trap for m.bison to take another body, as Seth's rebellion and its role as the main antagonist of Street Fighter IV serves as the main setting. As Seth's defection and subsequent rebellion against Bison highlight the Dictator's inability to control the very creations he engineered. Bison's lack of control has shown itself first with Kami and then Seth, and soon with Bison's body candidates, Abel and Ed. While the characters like Guile, Chun-Li and Kami are driven by personal vendettas, Bison is focused on having his revenge from Seth. m.bison then takes the bait Juri had and returns, his soul transplanted to yet another new body, although not as powerful as the one from his alpha days. Though his scientists try to dissuade him, m.bison chooses the weaker body instead of remaining dead any longer, stating that he never imagined that Seth would go so far and it will only be a matter of time before m.bison would inhabit his body anyway. He then takes part in Seth's new World Warrior tournament. Although Seth is the main antagonist of Street Fighter IV, the arcade endings of both Kami and Rose are all connected to m.bison. Even newcomers like Abel shows himself as a replacement body for m.bison, just like Ed. As Rose tries to find m.bison and stop him, Kami's goal was to save Decapre from Shadaloo's and m.bison's grasp. As Bison defeats Seth, takes Decapre back to Shadaloo's base to cure her, Street Fighter IV might be where Bison really thrives when compared to other Street Fighter titles. However, Bison had a little problem. Juri's bait ultimately led to Bison's doom, as he picked the weak body to awaken. It will be the demise of m.bison during the events of Street Fighter V. In Street Fighter V's m.bison character story, we learn about m.bison's past from different perspectives through Sea Viper. First, m.bison's last showdown against Charlie Nash that led to Nash's death, and then m.bison recruiting Fang. As m.bison obliterates Nugahao, a huge cartel under Shadaloo's umbrella, leaving only Fang alive. As Bison has a meeting with the generals of the Shadaloo, Fang tells him that everything is in place for their project, and soon they can carry the operation out. Which is, of course, to conquer the world. As Sea Viper is stitching the pieces of information together when she is spotted by Bison. He reassures his people that the operation cannot be stopped and soon everything will come to an end with the Black Moon's project. However, m.bison's appearance in Street Fighter V has transformed, with his hair turning white and his aura becoming more menacing. Bison's choice of possessing the weaker body has started to reflect on his appearance, and his mastery over psycho power has of course shown its signs on his body as well as on his humanity. Moreover, the Black Moon's project of m.bison is basically a series of satellites capable of unleashing catastrophic power. He plans to set these satellites to plunge the world into chaos and rebuild it under his rule or wreaking havoc on global scale as well as fueling Bison's psycho power through panic and fear. However, his plan faces an unexpected obstacle when one of the Shadaloo's programmers working on the project steals the pieces needed to control the moons. Bison, undeterred, dispatches his generals to locate the rogue programmer to retrieve the missing components. The plot thickens when Fang, one of Bison's loyal generals, successfully recovers one of the pieces. This recovery triggers the activation of a Black Moon, leading to devastation of a large city in North America, presumably New York City. There, they are encountered by Guile and Chun-Li, as Chun-Li, ignoring Guile's warnings and charges headlong into battle against Bison. However, she is no match for Bison, as his powers are drastically increased due to the fear and panic caused by the Black Moon. Chun-Li is severely beaten and on the verge of being killed when Kami intervenes, saving her just in time. The trio manages to escape as Bison deems them unworthy of further pursuit, his focus unwavering on his grander scheme. Meanwhile, recognizing the threat Bison possesses, the secretive Illuminati organization takes drastic measures by reviving the corpse of Charlie Nash, transforming him into a bioengineered weapon with one purpose: to assassinate m.bison. Enhanced with powerful bioengineering and driven by a manipulated mind that believes he has nothing left but the destruction of Bison, Nash embarks on a suicide mission. He successfully infiltrates Shadaloo HQ and confronts Bison, the man who killed him long ago. However, this attempt was also futile, realizing that Bison is now too powerful for anyone to defeat alone. Nash escapes only due to the timely appearance of Necalli, the ancient consumer of powerful souls. Necalli, seeking to consume Bison's powerful soul, challenges him but is ultimately overwhelmed by Bison's now exponentially increased psycho power as well. During the final assault on the Shadaloo base, Nash faces Bison once more. Despite Bison's near invincibility, bolstered by the global panic caused by the Black Moons, Nash manages to absorb a significant amount of psycho power before being obliterated by it. This act weakens Bison just enough time to give the other fighters a fighting chance, as Ryu arrives to confront Bison as he masters Satsuna Hado's darkness as well. Eager to test Ryu's newfound power, Bison demands that Ryu show him the power that defeated Necalli. Ryu responds that it is not a power meant to defeat but to push forward. Ryu, tapping into the power of nothingness, supposedly killing Bison. However, in his final moments, Bison laughs like a maniac, declaring that their conflict is far from over. As he attempts to unleash a Psycho Inferno, Ryu encounters with a Hadouken, resulting in Bison's apparent demise. Consumed by power of nothingness, Bison fades away, his base crumbling into ground along with his iconic hat. M.bison never appeared in Street Fighter 3 as he was considered dead. Until a nameless man appears in the dark alleys of Metro City in Street Fighter 6. On 26th of June, M.bison makes a shocking return to the Street Fighter series, defying his apparent death in Street Fighter 5. This time, he is not the same feared dictator everyone remembers. Instead, he is a man who resembles Bison, devoid of his memories but with violent tendencies and an inexplicable connection to psycho power. His journey to rediscover his identity and the truth about his past unfolds through the game's arcade mode and world tour. Bison's arcade story begins with him waking up in a Metro City alleyway, completely disoriented. He has no clothes, no memories, and no recollection of who he was. As he stumbles through the alley, 3 thug members approach him, mocking his state. Despite his confusion, his combat instincts take over. He fights them off with ease, using the psycho power that he can feel coursing through his veins. As he defeats the thugs and taking their clothes, one of the thugs, bewildered by his power, asks who he is, to which Bison responds that he does not know. The psycho power that courses through his veins eventually leads him to a ruined lab, a place with deep connections to Shadaloo. And it is here the nameless man encounters Yuri-Han, who is shocked to see him. Yuri, recognizing him as M.bison, questions his return from the dead. Intrigued and eager to learn more about himself, the nameless man fights Yuri. As he defeats Yuri, he grabs her by her throat and demands to know what she would do if he truly is Bison. Yuri, with defiance, tells him that she will help him remember who he is, only to kill him afterwards. The nameless man drops her, deciding to take the name M.bison for himself. And during the world tour, Bison's journey takes him to various locations tied to his former life as the leader of Shadaloo, even though he has no memories of these places. Bison is discovered on a cliff in Nashal at night by the player, as he is seen riding a horse that he unknowingly saved from the brink of death using psycho power. This connection to the horse, now imbued with dark energy, possibly symbolizing Bison's conflicted nature. During that event, a head of Phantom Bison emerges, drawing the attention of the amnesiac Bison. The nameless man absorbs Phantom Bison into his body, becoming whole once more. Recognizing the potential in the player, Bison decides to make the player his disciple, driven by an unspoken bond and the peculiar fact that his horse seems to like the player, concluding M.bison's story for now. M.bison's journey is a tale of dominance, destruction, from his early days as a martial artist consumed by ambition to his rise as the fearsome dictator of Shadaloo. M.bison is undeniably one of the most iconic villains of the video game history. His mastery of psycho power, his ruthless leadership, and his ability to manipulate and control others are what defined him as the dictator among the Street Fighter titles. Maybe it was a quest for identity for Kami, a revenge for Chun-Li, a mission of patriotism for Nash, or a challenge for Ryu, but it was just a Tuesday for the Undying Lord of Street Fighter. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into M.bison's story, and if you did, don't forget to follow me on Twitter or join my Discord channel. Any humble support through Patreon and YouTube join is really appreciated, and as always, share your opinions in the comments on which Street Fighter character you would like to see next. Stay tuned for more. Cheers!